Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Woman Empowerment Series video podcast with me, Farisha, and I'm delighted to have a very special guest with me today. It's Jessica Chua. Hi Jess, how are you?
Good morning, Farisha. How are you? Should be fine,
I'm
right?
good.
It's
How are
New Year
you?
coming. Hope everything is. Hope I'm good. I'm fine, and I hope that in 2021 everyone will have a great year ahead of them.
Yes, and I am very happy today to have you in my show. So can you tell us more a bit about yourself?
Okay. Myself, I am a compliance risk practitioner, but I work in a fintech environment. So moving from my previous background, which is the banking scene, I actually deal with a lot of tech stuff. So that makes me really unorthodox when it comes to the because it's fintech. So I work with a lot of guys. So I think this is where you're interested in interviewing me today. That to share a little bit how as a woman and how we actually stand firm in this really um, man empowered or man dominated industry. I think this is where you're interested in asking me today.
Okay, and in your career, what is the biggest challenge that you have overcome?
The biggest challenge I've overcome as of today is that first of all, there's a lot of changes in the environment itself, and of
Mm-hmm.
course, the environment is not just uh, you have to adapt to it because technology is coming up, and then we're looking
Yes.
into the data map, and that big data is a whole new world for you. So I think you know that now cash is no longer king, data is the king. So when I look into this techie stuff, and you can see that a lot of very talented developer and coder outside, and of course there's a lot of people that comes up with very techie products, and you can see that the e-products are coming out,
Yep.
and of course the challenges as for me as a risk practitioner or a
Mhm.
compliance person in this world, we have to adapt. And of
Yes.
course, my boss will ask me, customer experience, because compliance is internal control. When you talk about customer experience, a lot of business or customer would say, how would you balance if you want to have more data onboarding me into your business
Hmm.
versus whether the customer journey is smooth or is it going to be lengthy? That is a business call here. So I think the challenges is that a lot of bank products or maybe a lot of fintech products, a lot of upbeat products are coming out, and they are trying to capture and saturate into the market. And this is
Hmm.
where the competitions are. One of the challenges is like business requirements versus the regulatory requirements and the customer onboarding experience. So I think it's a balance on all this. There's no right and wrong answer. I think that's a challenge in here that we have to face in my line of work.
Yes, and I like it when you say adapt and evolve. So I think all of us, once we have entered the year 2021, all of us have to adapt and evolve because the technology keeps on changing from year after year. So all of us have to embrace the change, embrace with the development, embrace with the changing of technology, and we have to evolve and learn.
And also it's because of COVID-19, and now business have really evolved, and I think coming to 2021, you can't really use what we use in 2020 first quarter. I think it's a little bit obsolete and a little bit
Yeah.
outdated now because COVID-19 has really given us a new perspective on how we should approach customer and how um, we should practice social distancing. And that evolved a lot with your products and also
Hmm.
the processes around. Regulation, they don't change much because it is to deter and detect financial crime. So that cannot change. It's actually a trust between the society and the regulator. That won't change. but the product itself and the processes and how the business is going to capture and penetrate into the market, that is a challenge we're talking, because it's not just product and product competition that we're talking about. We're talking about a pandemic and how we're surviving through that. And if you're not catching up with that, I'm sorry, you're going to face out in no time, because they're not like, you can't monopolize, right? When you come into business and practices, you can't monopolize now because it's a fair market now. So I think this is where the challenge is, how quick and how fast you adapt, like what you say.
Yes.
I think the post-pandemic is really is a game changer now. It is.
Yes, and I totally agree with you, Jess, because during the starting of the pandemic last year, I remember it was the biggest challenge of my life as well, because my company, we have to adapt from face-to-face training to online training. So everything have to change, the way we operate, the way we do business have to change, and we have to quickly learn, how to use technology, how to use Microsoft Teams, how to use Zoom, how to use Google Meet, and all of these are, the technology and also the necessity that we need. So during last year in 2020, I have to say that it's one of the challenges that I have to face is to develop training programs and also to conduct meetings with my clients, with my bosses, and also with my board of directors through online, because we are still in MCO and right now CMCO in Malaysia. So the challenges, it teaches me also to adapt to change. And as we know that change is not easy, but change is constant. So we have to adapt. So we have to adapt with the changes, and we have to follow the government regulation. So when the Prime Minister announced saying that, okay, in Malaysia, it's still CMCO. So for Kuala Lumpur and Selangor, so I am, my office is in Kuala Lumpur and I stay in Selangor. So KL and Selangor area, we are still in CMCO. So we have to follow the government regulation. So I have to say that it's quite difficult as well, not just for me. I think for everyone who have gone through the pandemic, and business, we have to go on. Life goes on, and businesses have to keep going and survive throughout the pandemic. So we have to make full use of technology. We have to learn new skills. We have to adapt to the changes. And most important thing is we have to upskill ourselves with this new knowledge, with especially digital marketing right now, digital marketing, digital media. So we need to adapt to the changes, and also with technology. And I totally agree with you just now saying that we have to adapt, evolve, and learn.
So it's a disruption we're talking about. So in normal circumstances where pre-pandemic or the pre-COVID-19, you will see that people have their own timeline to do the BCP or to do the, the changes is not abruptly, it's not overnight. But the pandemic that just happened 2020, you have no time to adapt. You must adapt. And then you talk about this change is inevitable, and therefore you are forced to change into a way where you need to quickly adapt to the current situation or the current market. If not, customer won't come because your branding itself. They also want to see how you are offering them at this point in any business, like your training and my financial services, stuff like that. You can't just say give me some time. The time that you are adapting, they will change to another competitor. I think this is the real challenge we're talking here. And the next that I want to say is market adoptions. Once you have a product, you might not face total acceptance from the market or the customer. You may have some feedback, and that feedback can be constructive. Take it constructively. Then is that how long you're going to adapt to phase 2 and phase 3, like post customer service or the that post period. you need to adapt as well. It's not just changes, but also adapting in a situation where you can smooth the whole learning curve and then now back to normal. Because this pandemic is you have no choice. Everyone is going through this difficult, challenging time, but hopefully everyone will go through it. And in total, as I say, it's going to be a year where everyone will work hard, and I hope that by end of this year we can really control this pandemic, and vaccine is really going to be helping us to settle, and the borders will open. I think that will also help us to get back to our, hopefully, to our old life. You know, last time when I go to coming back to Malaysia, it's just one bag away. Now I have to call embassy. I have to call embassy to check what are the procedures, because the regulation is ever changing, right? Because of the pandemic.
Right. Okay. And the next question, what does woman empowerment means to you in your own words?
Woman empowerment for me is that you need to be assertive. Let's talk about assertive here, because I think as an Asian woman, we're brought into the culture where you need to be a bit obedient, and when
Yeah.
you are having opinions, you need to actually try to convey into the accepted way. Well, I beg to differ in this sense is because being assertive is not being loud. It's just
Mm,
that when you're being assertive, you're just trying to get your point across,
mm-hmm.
but still you can make it into a very manageable way. So, for example, in my job, because I deal with regulations, and of course, the regulations and regulator will never say that you must or you must not do it. They will just say that I'm giving you the guideline. You go and localize and you adapt in your environment,
Mm-hmm.
and then you tell us how you can manage your high risk client or high risk business sector or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I do have some I would say potential conflicts when I talk to my top management, because every single additional steps that I try to de-risk, it comes with a cost and resources, right?
Right.
So and of course, as a lady, sometimes I might be trying to be a bit motherly in that sense that, I'm really trying to see the point, I'm trying to come across. But I do think that, yeah, my male top management sometimes will be a little bit patient with me, but I do say that just be in a calm situation and tell them and carry the message across. And I think that if you consistently say out your opinion and you try to use your influencing skills on that, not to go top of the lungs and shout over. I think that was a little bit immature. If we want to be
Right.
assertive, we have to use how to say influencing skills and try to influence and then get into a consensus or a midpoint. So in any circumstances, business is difficult because it's unprecedented in a way
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah.
you don't know what is going on. And some more you have to balance in the ever-changing external environment. So I think there's always no right and wrong answer, but you must consistently carry out your message forward. And I think that is something that it takes a lot of maturity. It takes a
Mm-hmm.
lot of trial and error. And I
Yeah.
think that being assertive is a little bit new compared to the Asian environment as compared to the Western environment, because the Westerners are. By the way, I'm working for a Western company now, so I think it's easier that I can communicate with them as compared to my previous job. So this is something that I would like to share relating to women empowerment. How
Wow.
about you, Sharifa?
Okay, that is brilliant. For me, I think woman empowerment is for us women to empower and also to support one another, to empower and support each other. So I think in this journey that we call life, everyone is struggling, everyone going through a different challenges, different problems. I guess all of us have to support it and empower each other. So for me, the definition of woman empowerment is for us to empower, grow, and support one another. So for me in my life, I don't see jealousy. I don't get jealous of people, no hatred, no hate, no jealousy. Because for me, I always believe that, for us to enable for us to grow, it's for us to, empower and support one another without having any jealousy, without having any hatred. Because I totally believe that, in the concept of riziki, everyone will get their timing, everyone will have their chance and opportunity if they work hard for it, if they work hard and also dream big and have a goal to reach their fullest potential. So for me, the meaning of woman empowerment is for us to support, empower each other, and to grow. And for me, I believe that together we are stronger. Yes, so there's no hatred in my dictionary, no jealousy in my dictionary. So the only word in my dictionary is for us to progress, empower, and move forward and grow to be bigger and stronger, and also for us to join forces and join hands. So whenever you have problems, you come to me and I'll try and help you. And then maybe one fine day in the future, I will need to seek help from other ladies as well. So that is how you grow and that is how you empower. So, for example, I give you an example. My friend, she has a small business selling cakes. So she sells cakes online. So what I do is I help her to promote her small business by sharing her posts, by sharing her cake business so that my other friends and followers can order cakes from her. And that is how, she can grow her business as well. So she's doing an online cake business so people can order birthday cake, wedding anniversary cake, or any type of cakes from her. And, you're helping other women to grow in their line of profession and in their work. So that is a good thing. So it's a good feeling when help other people, when you help other ladies to grow in their line of profession.
Yeah, I think that also everyone have their own path to follow. There's no point looking at others and
Yeah.
trying to compete against them. And you should focus in what matters to you and to grow internally. And there's always, I believe, a purpose in life, that you're
Yes.
here, that you're in this industry, that we met, and you grow internally. And when you're so strong, and I mean, when you grow stronger and you are strong enough, help others,
Yes.
because this is how the society comes around. You have to give and you have to take, give and take. It's very balanced in that sense. So I believe that everyone have their orbit to follow.
Yes.
You have your own way as well. So that shouldn't have any internal rivalries, and you should
Yes.
also, you know, when you have achieved certain things, try to spread positivity and the positive vibes. I think at this pandemic, I think we need that a lot, because it's really uh, challenging time. We need to spread good words and good vibes to others, and to get through this COVID-19 stuff. So yes, I totally agree with what you say, and it's very good sharing. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So for the next question, who are the most inspirational women leaders that you admire in Malaysia, also internationally?
Okay, let's separate this into domestic or locally versus the international idol. I have, of course, Michelle Yeoh will be definitely my idol.
Yeah, the
Of
Bond girl.
the Bond girl, the Bond girl. I like her because we share the same hometown. I'm from Ipoh. I'm a small town girl, by the way. And of course, you can see that throughout her whole career path, it wasn't an easy one. I
Yeah.
think if you really study her carefully, she was a ballerina, and I think her she's aspired to be a professional ballerina, but I
Mm-hmm.
think she can get her dream in a way where she ended up having some spinal injured, I think some serious injury that stopped her into pursuing that direction. But that does not stop her from preparing something bigger in her life. And of course, through all the challenges that she's been through, she have encountered with graceful uh, manner, she's now like international superstar. I think every movie she makes is a box office movie, and of course she gets a lot of awards, and her accolades is really impressive. And I like and admire the way she handled challenges. And of course, I feel that she's very relatable in the sense where Asian lady trying to go out to the Western world and defeat all the stereotypes. And she's standing very strong. And then she speak for our Asian ladies here. I think she do us proud, of course. She's now Tan Sri Michelle Yeoh. It's not just Michelle Yeoh compared to years ago. So I think she's someone very close to my heart because I read about her since very young because she's my hometown hero. So for international female character that I like is Michelle Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And you must admire that lady's strength. She is the woman behind one of the most powerful men on earth. I mean, there was two terms that Barack Obama was in power. And you can see that, of course, she's woman of color. And of course, she goes through and defeats all the challenges where the racism, discrimination as she's a woman of color. And also she brought up two beautiful kids. And you can see that, and Barack Obama, ex-president of Barack Obama was someone who is very happy in his personal life, and he lead the country into the next level. And of course, people will have different comments about his leadership, but I do believe that if it's not Michelle Obama doing all the internal healing and internal management within his own family unit, he will not able to get those concentration and all the strength to lead a country and the world's strongest country, which is America. So, and of course, you can see that she's always carrying out herself with great poise.
Yes.
With and if you read her book, and you can see that she is really into children's welfare and her advocacy into children is something that I feel like if someone can be so consistent in her charitable work, she is really into that. It's not just, some political agenda you're trying to buy votes. She doesn't need to do it, but you can still see that she's very consistent in that directions. And I think that she breaks through a lot of stereotypes and labels. So I think this is the reason why I think she empowered me in some ways, because I always like people with not so someone with some diverse background and how they actually, climb their way one step at a time. They are not being too pushy and ambitious. They follow their own timing, and they will eventually achieve what they want to be in life. And there will be always something greater if you really follow the path and just concentrate at yourself. I think this is something that I learned from both of my idols. How about you, by the way? Well,
Yes.
who inspired you, truly inspired you?
My idol would have to be my mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother is like my number one idol because she's also a working mom, and she has retired from the workforce. So she used to work with Perbadanan Kemajuan Negeri Selangor, PKNS, is under the Selangor state government. And she has been with the company PKNS for 35 years. So I look up to her as my inspirational idol. that would have to be my mom, because she juggled her work, her professional work, and with raising two kids at the same time. So, over time that I've seen the sacrifices, she made as a mother, and also, as a worker, as a worker for Selangor State Development PKNS. So I would have to say my mom is my number one idol. And internationally, I really idolize not one, not two. I have so many ladies that I admire. Number one would have to be Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama, Tan Sri Michelle Yeoh as well. Yes. And I really look up to Tan Sri Rafida Aziz as well. And why? Because these ladies, they are very bold, they speak their mind, and they're very outspoken. Yeah, and they're very confident, and I like that. So whenever I look at confident ladies, I'm like, wow, she's very outspoken. She has her point that she wants to say across. Like, she's very vocal, and when I look at them on TV, I'm like, wow, I want to be just like them someday. Hopefully someday. Yeah, when you look at them, they're like, wow. And the speeches, and also the way that they present themselves, their public speaking when they are doing their presentation, it's like, wow, standing ovation, especially Oprah Winfrey, and also Michelle Obama. So that is where I get the inspiration from.